All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, Nigeria continues to battle with the menace of insecurity, and as you know, terrorists attacked Kuriga, a town in Chikun local government area, Kaduna, and they abducted 286 school pupils with their teachers. What a pity. And about 2 days ago, the terrorists called to demand a ransom of 1 billion naira. They said if the ransom was not paid within 20 days, they would start killing the victims. Tinubu responded by saying no dime will be paid as ransom and that the 286 pupils must be rescued. Now, the clock is ticking. The military has been charged with the responsibility of rescuing these victims who have less than 18 days if 1 billion naira is not paid. But few hours ago, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters, through the Director of Defense Media Operations, admitted that the kidnapped victims were held in locations that are difficult for the Nigerian soldiers to get to. And that created a lot of tension. Nigerians are saying, where is that location in this country that is difficult for our soldiers to get to? And even when the military said they would not rest until the victims are rescued, that statement by the defense headquarters cast some doubt on the smoothness of that rescue operation. Before I show you how they said it and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this very ridiculous update. Ramadan, respect Muslims. Don't eat in public during fasting hours. Cleric tells Nigerians. The chief imam of Falomo Lagos Central Mosque, Tajuddin Adebayo, said the public should respect the sensibility of fasting Muslim faithfuls by avoiding eating in their presence. Mr. Adebayo said that eating in public during the hours of fasting debased the sensibility of those fasting and could discourage people from the self-denial ritual. It is cautious for others to respect the sensibility of those who are fasting by not eating publicly, said Mr. Adebayo. The cleric spoke to journalists in Lagos on Thursday against the backdrop of some Muslims who were caught eating when they should be fasting. Hizbah, the Islamic police on Wednesday in Kano, arrested 10 men and a female groundnut vendor for allegedly eating in public during the hours of fasting. The Hizbah spokesperson Lawal Fage, who confirmed the arrest, said the men were arrested near a Kano market while the female vendor was caught eating from her wares. Mr. Fage said that the arrest was facilitated by a tip-off from onlookers. Commenting on the incident, the Lagos cleric said that in an ideal Islamic setting, fasting during Ramadan is sacred and should be respected by all. According to him, it is on grounds of insensitivity to the feelings of the general public they were arrested. Now, this is the insensitivity we are talking about from these guys. They will come and tell us that Islam is a religion of peace. But look at the kind of demand you are making of somebody who has no business with what you are doing. They should not eat in public. Why would you say that? Christians went through Lent. Christians fast every day. They don't even tell people. Now you are coming to tell adults not to do things that are not against the law in public because of a decision that you took. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by Olamilekon says, the world doesn't revolve around your religion. Nigeria is not a Muslim country. That is it. And Ben Samuel here says, we have rogue politicians. As if that's not enough. Now imagine the audacity of this rogue cleric. Many people were fasting even before Ramadan started, thanks to Tinubu's government. This statement is insensitive and should not have been made. That is it. What a toxic statement to make. And this tweet here says, the audacity. The African dimension of religion is a theater that entertains all absurdities, real and imagined. I'm telling you. And this tweet here says, religion of peace that everyone is scared of walking around. That is it. That is it. Where is the peace here when you have to tell me when and when not to eat because you are fasting? And religion is one of the major reasons some people believe we can never prosper as one nation. And it's so sad. Religion has been placed above logic by some, and their hold to it is tenacious. How can we ever see things the same way? This is one of the unbeatable points that those who champion the cause of division raise. Now, let us look at what the Nigerian Defense Headquarters said concerning the ongoing rescue mission of the 286 pupils that were abducted in the Kuriga town of Chikun local government, Kaduna. Look at how the papers reported it. Abductors of Kaduna school children are brutal, bloodthirsty terrorists, not bandits. They hold hostages in locations difficult to get to. Nigerian Defense Headquarters. The Nigerian Defense Headquarters has described the abductors of the over 200 children and teachers of a school in Kuriga in Kaduna State as brutal and bloodthirsty terrorists and not bandits as they are being called. The director of the Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, who said this on Thursday while addressing journalists in Abuja, said the victims were being held in locations difficult for Nigerian soldiers to get to. As in every war, there are complexities, and ours is no exception. Recently, cases of citizens being abducted in the northeast, northwest, and north central theaters of operations were recorded. These citizens were abducted by a brutal and bloodthirsty group that should only be addressed as terrorists, not bandits. I repeat, these are terrorists and not bandits. They are holding these citizens against their will and against all norms of human behavior and against the laws of armed conflict and any good measure in the world. No doubt, this is a difficult situation, but not one that is insurmountable. The hostage situation is an extremely sensitive one, which unfortunately is not unprecedented in the history of the ongoing war. These hostages are being held in locations that are difficult to get to, but not out of reach. The situation is, however, indicative of the desperation of these terrorists to avoid troops' onslaught by all means. These terrorists have exhibited cowardice by going for such soft targets to impede troops' advances. I assure you that we will not rest until they are returned. Given the hostage situation, it can be deduced that the search and rescue effort was grossly affected by the non-timely notification of troops of the incident. Nevertheless, I can assure you that we will not rest until these hostages are returned. You heard that. Although the army gave their word that they will not rest until the victims are rescued, some of the issues they raised in that address are a serious, cause for concern. They said they were not properly notified. They were not notified early, and it is giving them problem in their search and rescue operation. Then secondly, they said the children are being held in places that are difficult to get to. We are talking about 286 children here with their teachers. This is so sad. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet by The Game says, so there is a destination that Nigeria army cannot get to in this country. This sounds somehow. And this tweet here says, how does locations difficult to get to sound in the ears of the most powerful ground military in West Africa? Well, it sounds somehow. I've never heard a thing like this before. It's so strange. And this tweet by King George says, so there are locations that people who are supposed to be in the line of defense of the country can't reach within the same country. Omo, I don't tire. It is actually tiring. And this tweet here by Mazi says, I beg, make them just put this country up for sale for eBay. Make the highest bidder buy am. There is mumurity on all levels of government. The one wey go represent us for AU, reach there, go sleep, instead of discussing economic and security issues. Army wey get gun, they tell us, make we hand over insecurity to God. My people, you are on your own if you are expecting anything from these people. And this tweet here by Official Bishop says, as the bandits are doing theirs, the National Assembly also doing theirs. The National Assembly is a den of corruption by a gang of unarmed robbers. Obasanjo. Well, that is the issue. That is what we are faced with. We have talked and talked about the insincerity of the ruling class when it comes to fighting this issue of insecurity, and we keep seeing it play out. And the soldiers are coming out to say enough of the name bandits, that these guys are clearly terrorists. And what is going to happen now is the government going to pay this ransom of 1 billion naira and claim that they did not pay ransom, just as they were doing under the Buhari regime. That is left to be seen. But how long are we going to continue with this? The pain, the trauma, the disappointment. But sadly, this is how it is going to continue until Nigerians come together and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news where una go like. Why? Because now because of una I dey here. So don't go away. Don't go away.